What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going over the Xplore 9 and the Mega Live 2 out on the ice for the first time. I did some screen recordings this last weekend and I'm going to narrate through those. First time out on the ice. Very impressed, guys. I have had a couple issues which I'll go over at the end and maybe be able to fix some of those for you. But very impressed. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. All right, guys, we got the Mega Live transducer down in the hole in forward mode. We're sitting in about 11 feet of water. We're scanning up towards the shore right now. 100 foot out is the bank. Now we're looking out towards the basin. We see a little fish down there on the bottom left. There's one suspended up on the middle of the screen there at like 60 feet. It's looking really clear, guys. This is looking really good. You can see the weeds coming down this break right here on the left. There's that fish suspended out there at 60 feet. A couple more down there near the bottom. One there at 55 and one there at 30. Right at the base of that break. There's a couple more. Right there on the middle left-hand side of the screen. Right where it evens out there at the bottom of that break. And that got that one high suspended there at 58 foot. Looking really clear, guys. I'm really impressed with this picture. Again, there's that one at 60 feet just suspended out there. And we're looking off into the basin. You can see it dropped off there on the right-hand side. And a couple fish there on the screen. Let's get this out of the water and check out down mode. All right, jig's dropping down near the bottom. You can see some weeds right above a little weed clump there. Some sporadic weeds. This is right where the weed edge stops before it drops into the basin. You can see my jig. This is a 1/16 ounce jig with just a waxworm on there. It's showing up nice and clear. Have no problem picking that up, so I'm very happy with that. I'm sitting in about 11 foot of water, and looks like we're shooting out 8 feet on each side. So if a fish comes in here to check this jig out, we should be able to see him roll in. It's looking really good, though. Way better than Mega Live 1. I was not happy at all with Mega Live 1, but this Mega Live 2, so far, I'm impressed. You can see a fish right here coming in on the left-hand side of my jig, right along the bottom. He's creeping up. He might come up here and give me a sniff. Yep, here he comes. You can see him moving there just to the bottom left of my jig. So let it free hang there for a minute. He's the water here is very clear. So these fish are very finicky, but he's checking out my jig right now. You can see him right there just sniffing it out. And he does not want any part of that. Looks small. Probably a small bluegill, maybe a perch or something like that. Was not interested in that waxworm, but can see the fish no problem. Can see this 1/16 ounce jig no problem. So very happy. I'm reeling up. And let's check out something else here. All right, guys. I'm actually dropping down a jig. I drilled another hole about 25 feet away, and I'm dropping this jig down. And just to see if I can get a good reading of this 16th ounce jig 25 feet away. And picking it up, no problem. Very impressed. This is just a small jig without even a waxworm on it this time. All right, guys. We are in some shallower water. I tucked in tighter the weeds. You can see these weeds. We're in forward mode. Sitting in about 6 feet of water. You can see all those fish there on the left-hand side real close to me, just suspended up off those top of those weeds. Just scanning around here. There's weed right there, 10 foot out to come straight up to the surface. Very weedy in here, but you can see all those fish on the left-hand side very close to me. Looks really good. You can see all these weeds. Picking up fish, right? You see 4 or 5 of those fish right there in between those weed bunches right there. Looks really good, guys. Yep, very nice. Tons of weeds in here, and there's a ton of fish. I'm going to drop down into... All right, dropping down my 1/16 ounce jig with a waxworm into this pile of fish. We got a weed clump right underneath us, and these fish are coming right in on this bait. Look to be pretty small fish, probably bluegills. But they are checking it out. Really cool. You can tell everything's zoomed in a lot more in this shallow water. We're in 6-7 feet of water. and there's just a ton of fish down here hanging around these weeds. So really cool. I was able to find this little weed bed with these fish using that forward mode, and drilled a hole over here, dropped down, and was right on top of these fish. I just walked it off 60 foot from my transducer, and drilled this hole, and I was right on them. So definitely helped out finding these fish. If I was out here with a Vexlar, took me forever to find this little clump of fish on the side of these weeds right here. Couple little they're just tapping on me. I believe these are just small gills, but nice to see the fish and the jig here. They're surrounding my jig right now, so really cool. Yeah, they're not wanting no part of this. Looks we have a bigger fish over here on the right-hand side moving in. You can see it's a lot bigger fish, taking up a good part of the screen here. And he might have just turned around, but that was a big fish over there on the right-hand side just coming in. Maybe pushing that bait around over there, those smaller gills. That was a bigger mark. All right, here is a split shot and a small crappie minnow dropping down, seeing if something bigger can't take this little slip bobber rig with the crappie minnow on there. Had some little couple bigger marks down there looking at it right now. Really cool, guys. This is like pretty much the smallest split shot and smallest hook you can have, and a tiny little fathead minnow. Ton of fish right here, and I'm really impressed with this, guys. Looks really good. Can see the weeds, can see the fish, can see my jig out. I haven't tried finding my jig super far out yet, but we will be doing that soon. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is the first time. I didn't go over any settings or anything like that, but on the next week's video, I will do that, so please subscribe and don't miss out on that. For the pros and cons, it worked great. It exceeded my expectations, especially after Mega Live 1 was a major fail, and I'm really impressed with this Mega Live 2. However, if you guys noticed, my depth does not read on the transducer itself. It will not show what depth I'm in. I have to use the chart on the right to see what depth I'm in. Not too happy about that. I'm sure that will be fixed in the first update, I hope. You know, you buy one of these for 1,500 bucks, it should be perfect right out of the box, and it's not reading depth. I also had an issue where when I moved it to forward mode, it would still be in down mode, or vice versa. I did talk to Humminbird support, and they got me fixed up. I had to go into my system and my network and reset my Mega Live 2 settings. That fixed it right up, and I haven't had a single issue since. It's still not reading depth. I know some guys have talked about in the ice, the transducer is not showing that it's in the water. I haven't experienced that at all, but I have done some research on that, and that shield wire, the silver wire inside the wiring harness, needs to be to the ground of your battery, especially when you're in an ice shuttle like this right here. And one of my buddies actually hooked that shield wire up to the negative of their battery, and it did fix that problem. So that is one thing to try. But that is the only two problems that I've had, and it's only one now because of that depth not working. Not the worst thing in the world. I can see what depth I'm in on that chart on the right, but it'd be nice just to show up when I shoot down the hole really quick to show what foot I'm in, what depth. So, but please subscribe, guys. Stay tuned next week. We're gonna have some more videos just like this, and dive into some more settings, how to get that clearest picture and stuff like that. So we'll see you on the next one.